What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. First snowfall of the year. You can see behind me on the trees and all around. Heading out early morning to go do morning chores, feed the animals, check on everybody. But we're especially checking on Lila because Lila should be calving. We put her in a separate pen a couple nights ago because she was discharging fluid as well as blood. And so we're expecting a calf. That's been a couple of days now. And so she doesn't have access to feed like the rest of the cows. So we got to go out and we got to feed her and we got to check on her. I've been checking on her periodically and she's not having calf. So periodically has been spread out a good bit. Every few hours to just a few times a day. So Lila's actually in this covered area because the night that we moved her in here, it was raining pretty good. And we didn't want her to have a calf in cold, wet weather. So she's under here where it's nice and dry. Still no calf. You can see she's getting a little, good bit of an arch to her back. That belly's starting to get heavy, starting to drop. Any day now, we should have a calf on the ground. And of course her man Francis is hanging near, cleaning off the boys. Can you see me? If you guys remember, we just brought these calves home about a month ago and they wanted nothing to do with us. Now I've got them touching me, which is pretty cool. I've got them eating out of my hand as well. And that is the one that's the least friendliest. The most friendliest one's hanging out over there. So for the winter, guys, we are actually feeding free feed. So we're throwing big bales. We're keeping grass in front of them the entire time throughout the winter. Grass is much more affordable this year, but it is not so affordable that we can afford to waste so much of it. So one of the things we're going to be looking for is a system or way of feeding our bales without wasting so much of it. Now they have bale feeder products. We could do a homemade project, but I'm going to ask you guys in the comments if you have experience with feeding the cows. What do you guys think is the best method for feeding these animals without having so much waste produced? Guys, so these black calves are our new calves, and we finally named them. This one over here is Creed's little calf, and her name is Fiona. She's kind of a strong-willed calf. She's the one who's the least friendly of the two, but as you can see, she's just starting to gain our trust. This one over here with the cute little pom-pom ears, this one is Agnes. She's super sweet, super friendly. It didn't take long to gain her trust. And I think it helps that I'm wearing the same color fur as her. Come here. Always a frustrating but exciting game when you're waiting for a cow to calf. You're coming out every single day. You're trying to read every little sign in their body. And when you're looking at their body every couple hours, it's kind of hard to notice the subtle differences that take place. Coming out today, I noticed just a slight more sway in Lila's back, which she'll get a little bit more sway. And then her belly will drop, and it should be a pretty noticeable drop. And then before long, you got a calf on the ground, which is fantastic. And of course, it's going to happen in the snow. Why not? Wouldn't have it any other way, I guess. Some of the things that we're looking for when we're looking at Lila's body is, and it's hard to tell on the screen, but we're looking in this area right here. This area will produce a pretty good divot as her belly sinks down, her uterus drops, and the calf moves into place. You're going to see a high-rise bone tail like you're seeing right here. This bone right here in their tail will protrude a little more. It stands up more, and that's just basically her pelvis creating a pathway for the calf. So you're going to see these subtle changes in your cow's body. But like I said, when you're out here every single day, every couple hours, it is hard to notice those subtle changes. So you're staring at that thinking, is it in a little more? Is it in a little more? One of the real telltale signs, guys, is actually right back here. When you're looking at her backside, you're going to see loosening, and you're going to see fluids. And you can actually see right on the base of her tail right there, she's got some blood happening where she's discharged blood and then flung it up on her tail. These days of watching for a calf are always long nights because you're coming out and checking. One of the things that always seems to kick them into labor is snowfall, is change in the weather. You get a cold snap coming through like we just got. You get a snowfall coming through like you just got. A lot of the times these sorts of things will put an animal into labor if they're close. So that means getting up throughout the night, knowing it's snowing, knowing it's cold, coming out, reading the signs, seeing if she's close to calving. She would be perfectly fine calving in here by herself. She doesn't need our help. She's going to calf just fine. Scottish highland cows have an extremely high birthing rate, unassisted birthing rate. They do fantastic. It's like up in the 90 percentile. They don't need our help. She doesn't need my help. I just like to be here for it. It's part of raising these animals, is being there and seeing that. It's one of the coolest things you'll see, is to watch a calf's face pop out of a cow, and then all of a sudden there's just this live animal on the ground next to an animal that's been on the farm. You have a new animal that hasn't been on the farm. That miracle of life is just so fun to witness and watch. But it is frustrating to wait for and trying to read all of those signs to know when that cow is coming. We're going to let Lila finish up her breakfast, guys. We're going to head in and get some breakfast for ourselves. We'll be back to check on the animals throughout the day. Always checking to make sure that their water is good. Always checking to make sure that their feed is good. With Lila, us bringing her feed into here, she doesn't have the round bales like the other cows do. So we're bringing her food multiple times a day, just keeping her stuffed. And if she doesn't calf here in the next little bit, we're probably going to kick her loose. Put her out into the pasture with some of the cows. The reason that we had her separated originally is because she was fighting with the bull. Her and the bull were pushing, fighting, and all that stress while pregnant we don't want. So I had them separated. So we might have to jockey the cows around. We're not sticking any of the old cows in with any of the new cows just yet, especially Lila, because Lila will go in there and just beat the crap out of those new calves, and we don't want that for them. We want them to be very friendly, extremely used to us before we kick them loose with the rest of the herd, so that they take their gentle nature into the herd with them. This hut that she is occupying is also where I store my winter grass, which we are out of, except for the big bales. So I need her to move so I can bring in a trailer load, fill this thing back up, and have our grass for the winter to be able to feed them. We went from small square bale feeding during the summertime, late summertime. The last month of summer into the fall, we've been feeding small square bales. And now coming into the winter, we're going to feed them just straight round bales. Probably no big square bales this year because it is just too big of a pain in the butt to handle. It's much more convenient, easy with the tractor to lift, take out, put into place. We probably just need to get some round bale feeders. All right, guys, that is it for me. That is it for Lila for now. If you guys, if you have a suggestion on what we should name a calf that pops out of her, throw it in the comments below. Let me know, boy, girl, what names you think we should name Lila's calf. Just so you guys know, Lila is named after a subscriber to the channel. So don't think that your comments don't get read, and don't think that your names don't count, because if we like it enough, we might just throw a name, your name, at her calf. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you on the next one as we watch winter unfold out here on the homestead. Get out, you're ruining this whole thing. The entire video, cow dog. Get out of the shot. Get out of the shot. Go.